I know there are a lot of you guys out there wondering why I even moved to Chattanooga. So today I'm going to give you some ups and some downs of living here in Chattanooga, Tennessee. I'm going to dig into some really good reasons to live in Chattanooga, in addition to some reasons not to move to Chattanooga at all. And with all of that, I'm going to answer the all-important question, whether you're moving for work, pleasure, or to retire. Is Chattanooga a good place to live? So, let's go ahead and dive on into it. Here's my top 10 list representing both the pros and the cons of living in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga has a vibrant economy, it has a low cost of living, there are no state income taxes here, lots and lots of scenic beauty, and there are plenty of fun things to do here. On the other hand, there are hot summers and very gray, cold winters. It could be tough on folks with allergies. There's a little bit of poverty and income inequality here, along with high crime rates and subpar public schools. Now, I'm going to review each of these pros and cons of living in Chattanooga in a moment. But first, I want to go ahead and answer the question that I posed earlier. Is Chattanooga a good place to live? And the answer, absolutely yes. Chattanooga is a great place to live, especially if you're looking for a really big small town, since it offers a closer community feel, but with many of the amenities of big city life. Some residents even say that it's the perfect combination of big and small. It's easy to get around town, and there's a ton of natural beauty here to enjoy, with plenty of outdoor activities that come right along with it, right here in this area. Plus, for you less outdoorsy folks in the crowd, there's plenty of decent live music, arts, and a great food scene to explore here that most cities of this size don't even offer. So you throw in a healthy economy, a reasonable cost of living, plus the fact that no place in Tennessee charges a state income tax, boom, you got a good place to work, play, and live a great life. Now, on the other hand, just like any other place you may choose to live, there are some negatives that come with the positives. Wouldn't be fair if I didn't point these out as well. Some of the reasons not to move to Chattanooga are if you value the anonymity offered by a big city, you're not going to find it here in Chattanooga because it is, after all, at its core, a small eastern Tennessee town. Furthermore, just as Chattanooga possesses some of the positive traits of larger cities, it has similar downsides as well. Now, since the poverty rate here in Chattanooga is double the national average, and so often the case where there's poverty, there's a higher crime rate, that applies to Chattanooga as well. We're no different than any other city like that. And what's worse is many of our public schools here don't offer a quality educational environment, and that complicates the situation by not providing residents with the lesser means a better way to life. Finally, with the spring to summer heat and humidity we have here, the high pollen count, not everyone feels all that comfortable here in Chattanooga. So, with all the highlights about Chattanooga living taken care of, let's go on through each of the 10 pros and cons of living in Chattanooga right now. Chattanooga has a really vibrant economy. It was one of the first cities to offer 1 gigabyte per fiber internet service to homes and offices. The infrastructure offers unsurpassed broadband speeds. Now, this has partly contributed to the city becoming a go-to location for business startups and technology firms. Chattanooga is home to a growing job market with over 86,000 employees. What's more, these employment opportunities have attracted younger people to the area to participate in the local economy or to work remotely. Furthermore, larger, more traditional companies are doing business here as well. For example, there's a Volkswagen manufacturing plant to the east of the city that's expanding into electric vehicle production. Amazon and FedEx have distribution centers here in Chattanooga as well. And in addition to all of those, there's McKee Foods, who's best known as the maker of Little Debbie snacks. Now, as a result, there are plenty of jobs to be had in this scenic city, but note that the median household income here trails the national average, so you want to kind of take that into account. Another one of the best things about the Chattanooga lifestyle is you'll find cheap places to live throughout Tennessee, and Chattanooga is no exception. There are some really cheap places to live in and around Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga has a low cost of living. If you're wondering whether or not Chattanooga is expensive to live in, then you'll be happy to learn that Chattanooga is one of the most affordable places to live in Tennessee. With the cost of living here in Chattanooga is 9% lower than the national average. Living in Chattanooga is 17.4% cheaper than living in Nashville, about 2% cheaper than less expensive than living in Knoxville. Utility prices are 12% lower than the national average here. Transportation expenses about 9% lower than the national average. Healthcare prices about 3% lower than the national average, and grocery prices average about 1% lower than your national average. And even though area prices are up by 1.3% from a year ago, the most significant increases are found in transportation, food, and housing. The median home price in Chattanooga is still about $30,000 less than the national average. Also, for you would-be homeowners, property taxes in Hamilton County, where Chattanooga is located, are quite reasonable as well. Now, you should plan on owning a car here, since public transportation is limited, unless you'll be living and working in a confined area like downtown Chattanooga. Next, another benefit of living in Chattanooga, just for your finances, because no matter where you decide to live in Tennessee, Chattanooga included, there are no state income taxes. So whatever way you make money, be it from a job, Social Security, investment income, or savings in your retirement accounts, you won't have to file and pay state income taxes for your household. It's a huge benefit. There are only 8 states in the country without a state income tax. So depending on what state you're moving from, the tax savings could be substantial. It's one of the reasons people want to move to Tennessee, but there's more. And that leads us to another one of those advantages of living in Chattanooga. This city is very scenic and beautiful. It sits in a valley between the Appalachian and the Cumberland Mountains. Its nickname is the Scenic City. The rolling hills and trees and the Tennessee River all make for great views. It's much more interesting than more heavily populated metropolitan areas. It provides many great door activities that come with all of this beautiful outdoor terrain. That's going to bring us to another one of the best things about living in Chattanooga, Tennessee. There are plenty of fun things to do here. If you prefer an active outdoor lifestyle community, then you'll like it here, because the area is a great place for hiking, fishing, rafting, kayaking, canoeing, and all kinds of other stuff. We've got whitewater adventures on the nearby Ocoee River out in Polk County, just east of here. You travel a few miles to the north, past the nearby neighborhoods of Red Bank and Signal Mountain, you can hike and explore the Cumberland Trail. Beautiful scenic area that follows the line of ridges and gorges. It's awesome out there. But for you less adventurous folks, there's the Tennessee Riverwalk and the city's parks and trails. With mild temperatures lasting most of the year, it provides an almost year-round climate to get out and explore what has become one of the most livable southern cities you can find. The fun doesn't stop with the outdoors though. There are other things to keep you and your family entertained both inside and out, such as our dining, arts, and attractions that we have here. Those include the Bluff View Art District, the Chattanooga Zoo, Museum of American Art, Lookout Mountain, Signal Mountain Opry, the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Auditorium, the Tennessee Aquarium, Tivoli Theater, very historic place, Rock City, home of the first miniature golf course. There's Ruby Falls, the National Towing Museum, Chickamauga, and Chattanooga National Military Parks. All of that. Plus, we have all kinds of exciting festivals and events here. For example, there's the Four Bridges Arts Festival, there's the Chattanooga Film Festival, our Riverbend Festival, it's been around 40 years, the Chattanooga Street Food Festival, Three Sisters Bluegrass Festival, the Tennessee Whiskey Festival, and Maine Times 24 that runs a long time from spring to summer. All of these great things come together to create a growing art scene and an urban vibe that you might not expect from a smaller city. Finally, if you get bored, you can always take a road trip to explore Nashville in the middle of Tennessee. You probably know Nashville as the Music City, and it's just 2 hours away from Chattanooga. Now, closer yet is Knoxville. It's home to the state's flagship school, the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. Knoxville is located in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, the doorstep of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. You should make it a point to research all of these cities, any city in Tennessee that you're interested in comparing to Chattanooga. You know, Chattanooga versus Columbia, Chattanooga versus Knoxville. They're all close, but they have their differences. All of this leads us to another important question about living in an eastern Tennessee city, and Chattanooga specifically. Is Chattanooga a good place to retire? Well, since it's easy to conclude that Chattanooga is the perfect place to retire when you consider the low cost of living, zero state income taxes, temperate climate, and lots of fun-filled activities, with all of it placed in a small Tennessee town that feels like a bigger city. Now, it's estimated that about 15.6% of Chattanooga residents are over the age of 65, while the rest of the population is made up of millennials, college students, young professionals, and families. So, Chattanooga might be your dream retirement location if those good things about Chattanooga living get you excited. Well, on the other hand, a video about the pros and cons of living in Chattanooga, Tennessee would not be complete without addressing the worst things about living here in Chattanooga. So we're going to keep on moving and do that next. Those hot summers and gray winters that we have. You won't see the temperatures crack 100 degrees very often around here, but living here means uncomfortable summer weather, uncomfortable summer weather because of the high humidity levels, and that same high humidity sticks around during the winter, making the temperatures feel much colder than what the thermometer shows. Residents rarely have to deal with snowfall here, but it does rain a lot in Chattanooga in the winter, significantly more rain than most parts of the United States. Now that makes the winters feel gray and gloomy. So for anyone whose mood is impacted by a lack of sun, the weather during certain times of the year can present a challenge for you. Then, the climate and surroundings create another one of the bad things about living in Chattanooga. It can be tough on those with allergies because we got a lot of trees, shrubs, and flowers. They're good things usually, but combined with all the rainfall we get here, the high humidity, our extended spring to the summer season, pollen counts can be outrageously high here. And that means that living in this city is tough on those with seasonal allergies. So, the last two topics, we're going to sum it up right now. If you don't like warm, muggy summers, if you don't like damp, gray winters, if you don't like high pollen counts during the spring, you're probably not going to like living in Chattanooga. Okay, so moving right along, we've got several other issues that plague our beautiful city. It's not very much different than living in Memphis in this regard. Now, making your choice of your exact neighborhood is important because that can relate to the safety of your family and the education for your children. Now, the poverty and income inequality that exists here in Chattanooga, it's estimated that about 1 out of every 5 individuals in Chattanooga live below the poverty line. That's much higher than the national average. And that means there are a large population of struggling citizens living in substandard housing, scraping by to make ends meet. That brings us to another negative of living in Chattanooga: our high crime rates. Poverty and crime often go hand in hand, and it's no different here, as crime is mostly isolated in the poorer areas. There's gang activity making parts of our towns not wise to be in, especially if you're unfamiliar with your surroundings. With a crime rate of 79 per every 1,000 residents, Chattanooga has one of the highest crime rates in the country compared to other similar communities. Now, this issue is surprising to me because Chattanooga is a fairly small town and not a bigger city like St. Louis or Memphis. Those are two of the highest crime cities in the nation. But on the other hand, high crime doesn't necessarily mean you'll be in danger, since it's localized in certain little pockets and areas of the city. So the most important thing is this: choose your exact location wisely and take normal locking your doors and keeping valuables out of sight. Now, those are good practices no matter what city you choose to live in. Now, there are plenty of safe places to live in Chattanooga. Now, here's another issue that furthers the divide between the haves and the have-nots in Chattanooga, and that is the subpar public schools. Now, since the Hamilton County school system is not particularly highly rated, and students here tend to perform at a lower level, do your homework and consider some of the nearby neighborhoods, maybe outside of the heart of the city. The East Brainerd, East Hamilton County area schools, for example, are considered to be of higher quality. In addition, there are some good schools if you choose to live in Signal Mountain, north of downtown, But understand the housing in that area is going to be way more expensive. The schools there are excellent. There are private schools here, but they're very expensive as well. So anyone with school-age children, choose your school district wisely. Work the cost of private education into your budget before deciding to move here. All right, folks, that's all I have today, but before I go, allow me to summarize once again the pros and the cons of living in Chattanooga. The Living in Chattanooga, Tennessee pros and cons list includes the vibrant economy, low cost of living, no state income taxes, lots and lots of scenic beauty, and we have plenty of fun things to do here in Chattanooga. On the other hand, the cons are our hot summers and gray winters. It could be tough on those with allergies, our poverty and income inequality, our high crime rates, our subpar public schools. Now, hopefully, this video has helped you with some important questions, such as, what's it like living in Chattanooga? Should I move to Chattanooga? Or should I move to Knoxville or Chattanooga? Or should I move to Nashville or Chattanooga? Even though there are some drawbacks, like any place you choose to live, most people feel the overall Chattanooga quality of life is pretty high. Good luck with your decision, no matter where you decide to settle down. Until next time.